After my walk this evening, I just wanted to make another quick update video because I had a really exciting wildlife encounter. These are the first spring bats that I've seen this year, and I couldn't wait to share it with you. With how light it was, the only bat species that would really be out at this time of day would be nocturnal bats, common pipistrelles, or soprano pipistrelles. Now my guess is that these are going to be soprano pipistrelles because of a range of things like the size, the habitat, and the behaviour. The size of them is way smaller than a nocturnal bat, and nocturnes when they emerge would be flying really high above you. You'd have to look up to be able to spot them. These individuals were flying around back and forth with that flitting flight that's very characteristic of a pipistrelle bat. They also seem to be foraging along insects that the algae must have stirred up during the evening. The reason that I think these might be sopranos rather than common pipistrelles is simply because of their proximity to water. Because I didn't have a bat detector out there with me, there's no real way of knowing whether they were sopranos or common pipistrelles, but it would be really cool to get back out there and find out where this roost is coming from and which species they actually are. With the time of day and with how many I saw in quick succession around this really large tree, I'm guessing the roost is really close to here. Whether it's in this tree or another one of the trees along this tree line, I'm not entirely sure. I did stand around for a little while trying to figure it out, but I couldn't see any of the emergencies. I'd love to know if you've seen any bats this year yet. They can be really hard to spot, and it's only really with experience that I was able to very quickly pick out these bats against the quite dark backdrop, and also be able to tell with their behaviour that they were bats rather than really small birds. The more times you try and look, and the more experience you get with actually being able to spot them, the more you'll see just how many bats do come about. As we get further into spring and into summer, you'll see a lot more of their activity. It's still quite early and a bit cold for bats, but this is a really hopeful sign that spring is truly here.
Subscribe to Ferroforest to keep learning about UK nature.